Welcome to the Decentralized Consciousness podcast. Today, we will listen to a recording from the community call in the Bitcoin Consciousness Community Telegram group that took place on the 22nd of March. So it will be some talking by me and then some feedback from some participants. If you think this sounds interesting and would like to listen in live on the next one, you can find the invitation link to the Telegram group in the description of this episode. So, let's go. Welcome to this community call. I'm very excited about this. I have been getting some glimpses of what I think will happen here, what might happen here. And in the days up to this, I've been sometimes starting to put together like a slideshow, but then that didn't feel right. So it's just like very blank, very open. It's just many different topics that have been coming through my visions the last few days that we will talk about here. We will also have some communication feedback from you guys. But let's just first come into that deeper self. So take a deep breath in and feel your body. And this also goes for those who will listen to this through the recording. It goes both through space and time. So this space or this circle or this mastermind that we are creating here, it will be accessible through the recording also. You all know the drill by now. So you do what you need to do to connect with Earth, activate your senses, coming into the room and connecting to your node. So I want to start with a reflection over how we came here, how we got to this community, how we are connecting at this very moment with these specific people at this time. All the things that had to happen for this to come about. I did this as preparation for this community call, and however I tried to sort of think about it or analyze it, it just felt like stories. It felt like my rational mind tried to come up with storylines to sort of make linear, rational explanations for why we are here. The rational mind is sort of thinking that he made this happen. It's sort of how it works. The rational mind, it sort of bends everything to make it seem like everything was planned, controlled. But when we think about it deeper, we have no idea. We didn't have really a conscious choice over how we ended up here. And some of us are happy for that, going with the flow, and others maybe still feel that you want to be in control. But if we let go of those stories, how we got here and what we think we will get out of it, and what we think the future will look like, we are just a bunch of nodes clustered together somewhere in time and space, like a group of souls. And nobody here maybe probably knows why we're here, or even who we are, or what we should do. It's all quite random, or it's destiny, or something in between. But now, when we are here, we can think about what potential do we have here? Like, if we don't even know why we're here, then maybe at least we could think about where we could go from here. Sometimes it feels like, when we come to Earth, it's like we forget who we are. And then we go through the programming, and then we live in suffering and pain. And then we start clearing the programming, and we start finding back to who we really are. It seems to me that we are in that point here where we are creating almost like a family in this community. So this is how I relate to this community. It's the people in the world that understands me more than most. You are the people that I can be my true self with. I feel understood. I feel heard. So it's a very special thing we have here. Especially when we let go of all the stories that we had from the past, and we realize that time doesn't really exist and it's non-linear. And here we are with a bunch of souls who have very similar life, um, similar values, similar Similar goals, similar goals. So let's look at those goals and those values and how we have been attracted together at this time in the evolution of consciousness. So at the moment, my heart is almost exploding here. It's I feel that we are connecting like a bunch of nodes on the creation network. Almost like we're celebrating that we found each other after so much confusion. And if this the community is like a family for me, then the Bitcoiners is like an extended family. All those people that we can hear on the podcasts, and everyone is trying to figure things out. Everyone is trying to help. Everybody's trying to grow. So many good, strong hearts in the Bitcoin community. So, in a decentralized system, I can talk about my circles, like around me, like my closest, and then my community, and then the extended community. And everybody have it like this. So you have yourself in the very center. You love yourself. You feel safe and strong in your node. And then the next circle around you is with your family. And in a way, that's you. Um, it's like your extended you, different versions of you. So you have you, and then you have your family you, and then you have the community you, and then you have the extended community you, and then it goes on to the humanity you, where we are all one. So all of these circles are one from a certain reference point. So you are one with yourself, and then you are one with your family, you are one with your community, and so on. So there is really not so much of a division between us as we might think according to the programming we received. It's really like we are one, and I think of this community as one, and this is how I experience it also. We are all individuals, but we are also one community. And then we can extend that, and so on and so on, and everything is one. And as I've been talking about in the momentum meditations, it's like this ability to be the first and choosing vulnerability. So we were brought up sort of waiting for others to first take their shields down, and then we can take our shields down. Like defense was more important than vulnerability. And now we are turning this around. So in a community like this where we practice being first, being that brave, being that strong, and always be the first. Because it does make sense in a long, low time preference, but it's scary in a high time preference. But as we come into neutrality, as we come into our node, we start to live in lower and lower time preference, where we take actions based on those really long time spans. And we know that vulnerability is the way to go. So, in a community like this, where we practice vulnerability, we can really help each other to, to uncover even more of who we are and encourage each other even more to blossom and really become and express the true nature of each and every one of us. And we are so used to the masters and slaves paradigm, the influencer and the followers, the boss and the employees. And it's up to all of us to help each other to not fall into those patterns. Because when we start expressing our true self, it can feel like we become a master. And maybe people start looking, oh, now he thinks he's a master. But that's part of the process to really express who we really are. It can look like being a master, but it can also just be self-expression. We can help each other to see, oh, now you fell into the follower role, or oh, now you fell into the influencer role. Or maybe not so direct. Maybe say, maybe that's what's happening now. Maybe you're playing out a pattern or like a power trip. And maybe you should just reflect over that. And that's how we keep the decentralization in this group. So sometimes because I started it, I felt like, oh, I need to make sure it's decentralized. I need to. And I put like a pressure on myself, like how to be the leader and make sure it's decentralized. And that was like an inner conflict in me. But then one of you told me that it's not up to you. It's everyone's responsibility. So let's take a deep breath in. Maybe just to recenter. So even such a pattern like making sure it's decentralized turned out to be a centralizing pattern, funnily enough. and the decentralized ways that we trust each other. We do not have to try, or we do not, it's nothing we should do in that way. Just allow everyone to grow into who they really are. So when we grow into who we really are, we start to more and more take actions without expecting anything back. So the action in itself is the reward. It's not what we get from it. So the fiat paradigm is that we do things to get something. But the higher consciousness way is to just give, to just do things. And the reward or the feedback from that doesn't come directly from the source, but it's just a natural part of being in harmony with the creation, just like the flowers in the fields. So I've come to a point in my journey where I can't go on living this contradiction anymore of charging for sessions, charging for courses, because how much I feel that the courses and the sessions I do comes from this place of neutrality, and I really love what I do, and I feel I give a gift, but it always comes with this bad taste of wanting to have something back for it. So this has been an ongoing process in me for quite some time, and I made momentum meditations, a value for value standard, and now I'm stepping into that everything I do will be a value for value standard, which means that I can focus on just having fun, just creating the courses I feel drawn to create, and more playing and less hassle with setting prices and all of these things. So this means that it would be possible to pay for everything I do, similar to the momentum meditations. So you choose on your own what you want to participate in and how much you want to pay. And the payments can be anonymous. So I will not check like, oh, this person had a session and now I'm waiting for a payment from that one or so. So I'm very excited about this. Also a little bit scared, but it really feels like I don't have a choice. I need to live my truth and just become that flower. And it's connected with that we are one. And as long as we pretend that we are separate, trying to get something from others, we are increasing that separation, that illusion of separation. So when we see or when we feel that something is true, and then it's good to act on that, even when it's scary. Oh, my heart is now exploding again. I had no idea this would be so emotional. It feels like my heart has never been this open. Okay, so let me talk about these new clearings. So when I look at a person's energy body, I see the light, and then I see a lot of patterns sort of covering the light, or sort of wrapped around the person in different ways, like almost like lots of bandages. Okay, some glitch there. I hope I'm back. So in the past we have meditated. So it's been a matter of looking at these bandages, and then I've been asking clients like, how do you feel now when a certain bandage is sort of active? And then we go, like, we face those fears, and that bandage melts away. And then we go to the next bandage and next bandage. And with these phrases, when we say, I'm so sorry you're afraid, for example, that's when I can look at a bandage and I go in and I listen to the charge, and I can listen to the words that comes from that bandage, where maybe it says, I'm so scared of the teacher or something like that. And then I can turn that scared voice into a phrase, and then I can say that phrase, and then clients can repeat that phrase to that part. So every bandage is like a hurt part, you can say. So this has been very effective. And in a group setting, for me, it's like zooming out to the next level. So we have individuals, and then whoop, looking at it as one group. And then those bandages are like, if 70% of the people in the group have a certain similar issue, then that bandage, it's like a group bandage. And I can then do the same. I can tap into that. And as a group, we can then use also picking out that frequency for that particular bandage. And then when we say that with compassion, with love, that bandage melts away for for everyone in that group. So tying this together with what we talked about in the beginning, that I feel that this community is it's like a family. I do see in my meditations or when I go to bed, I can see these bandages around our community. And I feel that we could remove those, we could take them away, and we could free ourselves. like we could work together and like it, to hold on to them, like to honor our parents or to honor the culture. It's sort of nice, I guess, but it is also a waste of time. It's not so much to hold on to, it's like pain and suffering, usually in different ways. So, what has come up for me is to have community scarcity clearings on Wednesdays. And I will have that in the community group, like each Wednesday for a while. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 10 weeks, I don't know. And for those of you who want to participate in this, will be helping yourself and you will helping the community, and also our extended family will be able to benefit of these clearings, because it's like finding the keys to these. So if it's scarcity patterns that many people have, like if we are able to clear those, we don't have those. And then when we meet other people who have those, we are able to help them to melt away them also. It's like figuring out frequencies, community frequencies. And so that's something I feel drawn to doing. Another thing is I would like to work with some people that would be interested in learning to work with other people, something like I do. But what I do, I don't do a technique per se. I'm just being myself. So it would be like a course in learning how to be yourself with others. Because also that would be then these ripple effects, and it will become more decentralized if we have more people being able to help others to melt away patterns. I'm also planning another men's group, maybe in May or so. So those are some plans, and those are some new models maybe for us to consider, like new filters to see our community through. So I will open up here for any feedback that you might have. Anyone can just jump in.
Hey, Sama. I'm in the car. I've been driving for 13 hours, but everything you said resonates with me, and there's no reason to feel concerned about what we think of you. Um, yeah, sounds good, man.
Oh, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, maybe it comes across that I am still holding myself back. Yeah, but I take small steps forward. Yeah, I think like I see so much potential. I think I'm worried that I'm rushing things, that I will sort of lose you on the way if I go too fast. If I like, because you all have your lives, and this community might not be so important for you as it is to me, and I don't want to feel that I'm I'm like I'm expecting anything. It's yeah. So this is just my fears. Yeah. uh, just moving forward.
Yeah, Sama, your fears are my fears. I came into this call with this sort of couldn't work out tension in my heart. And as you were talking to start with and sharing your thoughts and ideas, I was actually focusing on myself, trying to clear that tension, which to me, I think I finally diagnosed it as I feel like I and we are on the cusp of something. And it's that nervousness, that fear, that excitement that I was really processing. I feel like we're all feeling this. We're all at different stages of our journeys together and as individuals. And what's what's bringing ease to me is that trust in the universe, trust in that approach of not controlling, just being part of this. And no matter where we're at on our journey, just being part of this is everything. So I listen to your words, but I really just experience that vibration you're putting out, and I too resonate with everything you say and feel. So just, just want to share. I'm very glad to be here.
I just wanted to add to that same sort of topic or feeling. The last thing when someone mentioned about the you know sitting with individuals, trying to continue that ripple effect where we could do the same thing you're doing, Sama. I instantly got an uptick in um, nervousness, fear. Also, I felt a glimpse of pride. That oh, now I can be a teacher. Um, then wanting to fall back into the student role because it's easier, I guess. Um, but then as you kept, I don't know, as sort of being in tune with your frequency, again, I felt that comfort in the simplicity and elegance of what you're doing. And the only thing about being a teacher, just you're responsible for being completely yourself. And to me, that brought a sense of calm right away. So I wanted to share that piece.
Hi, Sama. I joined the call a little bit late because I was driving back home with my family, but came in around the point when you were talking about offering everything value for value. And I love the feeling of that. And I could sense your opening heart in that regard. And um, yeah, I first kind of heard about that idea through Charles Eisenstein in one of his books. I think it was Sacred Economics. Um, and almost got to the point where I was offering something. I wanted to offer the retreats we were running that same way, but I had a partner at the time and they weren't sure if they wanted to, and financially it was scary, and so we didn't. But I think it's beautiful that you're opening to that, and I would love to open further to that as well moving forward. And also, I just think it's so beautiful the authenticity that you're bringing here and just being yourself, and letting that be your practice as well as your gift. And um, it is inspiring to me. It makes me want to tune more into myself and live my gift and offer it more fully as well. So yeah, I'd be interested in um, joining you on that journey as well. So thank you for all you're doing here.
Hey, Sama. Hey, everyone. My first time back in this community in a while. I really appreciate everything you're doing, Sama, and it's very exciting. I know you and a lot of us here have fears. I mean, that's a good sign in a way. But also, we can decentralize the fear, just disidentify with it, and just let it go and let it turn into excitement. It can reframe it as like a coming home feeling, and just trust what's unfolding, trust everything that's more intelligent than our limited centralized self. Just trust the infinite, the perfection that's just playing out through us. And we all have our own roles to play, so we'll just keep doing our inner work, whether it's alone or with each other. And yeah, we'll all be the best versions of ourselves. You'll be the best Sama, I'll be the best Bren. We all just be the best community. And the value for value thing is very exciting too. And it seems like that's your unique opportunity that you can kind of lead us. And it reminded me of the Rumi poem of like the sun not asking the earth like you owe me anything, and with a love like that, it lights up the whole sky.
Thank you all for the beautiful feedback, all speaking to different parts of myself. That's how it felt. And this difference between fear and excitement that Bren brought up, it's quite an interesting point. We can transmute the fear to excitement. And like Scott brought up, the feeling of being on the cusp of something. I've been processing fear of change. And it's really a lot of change going on. But it's also amazing that we are here on the planet at this time. And it looks like to me that we are really in the epicenter of what's going to happen here. Moving from fiat banking system to a Bitcoin standard in combination with evolution of consciousness. To me, it just looks like this little community is just in the center of the whole thing. So when I talk to high consciousness people, they don't care so much about Bitcoin and the financial system. They just think it's something nasty going on somewhere around there, and many of them are building just their own bubble. So I'm not sure of this, but it's just this is what has brought us together. It's like almost in the crosshairs, the X, Y. It's like this inner awakening, higher consciousness, and then it's this monetary drama that's playing out on the planet. It just seems that most people are either in one end or the other, like either in X or they are in Y. And somehow this little community is just right in the center of it. Like it's almost like I can't even understand how this is possible. And it's just models, but I know that most of us we have similar models about these things because we understand how Bitcoin will be important in the coming years. So this is something that binds us together, we can say. It's fascinating, but at the same time, it's just TikTok next block. Let go of the fears and just embody our light as much as we can, as much as we allow ourselves to do. So we're coming towards the end of this hour, and I have created booking form for individual sessions. So it's quite easy to just book a time there, and I will put the link in the group. And then, yeah, momentum meditations, we keep going, see how they evolve. And then for those who wants to participate in these Wednesday community scarcity clearings, where we just like meet for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. And we just start clearing, melt away patterns. So it's not like a meditation course in that sense. This is more like just getting down to it, just melting away old patterns that we don't need anymore. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of these scarcity games. Because I know it's lies. It's just made up low frequency patterns at this point. I mean, they were created as survival patterns, but they are not at all helping us for survival anymore. So it's just like we should just get rid of them as fast as we can cope. So that's why we just meet on Wednesdays, just get rid of some big batches, little bit different angles every week. So I look forward to that. So, coming to the end here. Thank you all for showing up, for stepping up, and for opening your hearts here today. It's a very humbling experience. See you soon.